What's going on, everyone? My name is Joe Reynolds of LowKickMMA. Today joining me is Jaga. He's one of the fans' favourites in the Czechoslovakia. He's back December 30th, not in an MMA fight, but a cage boxing fight on what promises to be a great way to close out the year for Octagon. Ahead of the cage boxing bout, how are you feeling for it?
I feel great because boxing is my my domain. When I started, I was starting on the boxing, so for me it's like a like going into school like every day, everyday thing, So I'm happy, I'm excited. I'm gonna be on the biggest event in Czech Republic, what is every year, so I'm happy.
And as well, what a great way to close out the year. You return to winning ways after showing a lot of perseverance. And now to obviously have the chance to close out the year in a very exciting fight and get a win from there. What is it like to have the chance to close out the year in such a good, positive light?
It's like a good feeling, like you feel great because you know what you put in it, the energy, the everything, the passion, the energy, the everything which you got, like money for preparation, it's worth it for something, it's worth it and the end of the year is like a top of the hill, it's like a perfect feeling. You feel great. I got good diet, and everything is. I'm so happy on it.
Yeah, and to return back to winning ways, what was that like to finally get back into that win column in MMA? Obviously,
it was. I'm the person who doesn't actually. Sorry, I'm going to tell it that way. I doesn't give a fuck if I win or lose. I give a shit because I'm doing what I'm living actually my dream, because I can live from the fighting, and so win or lose, you're still doing what you love, and when I win, of course it's better feeling than losing. You're much happier, you're enjoying the day after the night afterwards, but still it doesn't take, for me it's not like a big change, like for others probably yes, not for me.
Yeah, and when you are able to have that mentality, you're not caring for the result and knowing that you are living out what you've always wanted to do you see that thing as sort of playing in your hand? Obviously, for a lot of other fighters, they might let that sort of pressure them a little bit if they don't get a result, whereas you're more just happy to be doing what you're doing and you're enjoying every single moment that there is building up to it. Do you feel as though that's played into your hands massively throughout your career?
Yeah, that's good, because I got rough starts, because when I started with the MMA, I was already like a good boxer, and my coach wasn't that great, my first coach. So he straight away put me with like good fighters, like with the big records. Actually I was fighting first fight MMA, I was fighting the guy who was already fighting with the Prochaska, who was now the champion of the UFC. So it was a rough start, in the middle of it, when I changed the coaches, when I changed everything, afterwards was like different. And afterwards I started changing my my thinking about why I care so much. Why before it's not going about, I'm not gonna die if I'm gonna lose. Nothing's gonna change. World's not gonna change. People doesn't gonna change. Yeah, fake friends gonna change, as of course. Fake people are gonna change, but that's it. So I stopped, I'm like all my life I doesn't care too much about other stuff. So just the way I live.
Yeah, and then you and your opponent, you've been spending a long time now with Octagon. I believe he was there since the first numbered event, and then yourself, you came on quite early. But to be a part of the progression of Octagon, to see the promotions sort of rise as well, that not just known in the Czechoslovakia anymore, they're quite getting well known across Europe and even further now. But to be a part of that journey from the start and still to be treated in a good way that you are, what's that like to sort of be with the promotion for the time that you have?
Actually, you feel great, you feel you belong somewhere. You feel like people know you, you feel like people cheer you up, people give you a shit, people hate you, whatever. But I'm grateful for it, because there's great moments in my life, I don't have too much great moments in my life. I got lots of painful memories and painful stuff. I'm not crying about it, but just saying, and this is like my, the time when I'm going in octagon, the time when I'm going in weigh-ins, the time when I'm the 3 days before the fight, you know, is always like my world. You feel great. You know, you love what you're doing, and OKTAGON doing great promotions. You know, they help me lots. You know, because now I got new Instagram. But before they stole my Instagram, I went from 1,100 followers to over the night, over the one first fight in octagon, I went to 10,000. You know, over the night. So you can imagine, you know, the popularity what actual octagon give me. You know, even with my stupid personality, it's like I talk too much, you know, and I don't mind what I'm saying. You know, sometimes I'm telling the stuff quicker than I think. So some people doesn't like it, but I love it. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful with the octagon. I'm grateful what they're doing for me, and I love what they do, like whole around Europe. You know, like the octagon still growing. You know.
Definitely, and you mentioned there in terms of the support that you got and the overnight sort of the notoriety that sort of came with getting your first result inside of octagon, but looking even further than that, the entire crowd as a promotion with the promotion get really behind any fighter, regardless of where they're from, records, anything like that. But they seem to put you a little bit at the forefront. It seems they're always happy to see you in the cage, or at the very least, they're always talking about you going in the cage and whatever it is that you're doing. But to have the support behind you and to sort of keep the support, the momentum for a long time from the fans, what's that sort of been like to keep that support there?
It's a great feeling, you know. Straight away when they start playing my song, where they people, you know, hear the song, they start cheering up, you know, and you going the let's say the 30 seconds of 1 minute the way, and you enjoy every second. And even when they text you afterwards, because of you I started doing the sports, because of you I started doing that, you know. Or when I'm losing, you know, and they support me, like don't care, you know, like they don't worry, you will win next time, you know. It's like a great feeling with somebody like doesn't know you and still want to help you, you know. It's like that's what I love in the thing, you know. They doesn't know you and they want to help you, and it's cool, even if they want to just help you with the words, you know, but sometimes it's enough.
Yeah, and then to go back to this fight in terms of what's going on, do you want to make it as exciting as possible and go in there and leave as much as you can in the cage, or do you have a plan to just get in there and get the win as quick as you can? What's the sort of thought process behind this fight?
The process is always the same, you know. My coaches always tell me, don't get crazy, you know. But it's gonna never happen. I always go crazy. I just wanna smash it, you know. I just wanna bang it in the face, you know. I don't want to go to the down. I don't want to go to the ground game. I just want to stand up. Let's go. We're gonna who's the tougher, you know, and who's the strongest one, you know. And that's why I always sometimes I remember one fight. It was before the octagon, where I actually hold the tactic all the time. It was one of the fight, but afterwards I never. It's just always the same. Get in. We touch the gloves. I'm going in. I'm going all out in. And sometimes sometimes I go with win. Sometimes I go with loss. That's what's up.
And then looking at your opponent that you've got for this one, I'm sure it's great when your opponent brings the same sort of mentality. But do you see this opponent as well bringing that same mentality in terms of getting in there and just wanting to simply throw down?
No, because the Gabor is my opponent is not the boxer. He's not the same. I don't want to misjudge him or say he's like, but he's not the boxer. You know, he's more grappler, and his skills are not that level. So I don't have that much respect about his boxing. You know, I got respect about his ground game. I got respect about his ground and pound, but I don't have care about in the boxing. I'm actually quite confident, so I feel great. So I don't think he's gonna bring the same stuff what I bring in.
Yeah, and then the final thing for myself, just obviously the fans already know what to expect from you, but for anyone who might not have seen an octagon card yet, what is it that they can expect to see from not just yourself, but from a normal Octagon card that you've seen so far?
I think you can see the fireworks. I know that you changed it for now in the last moment. They changed Magar not gonna fight because he broke his jaw. So I hear from Macek opponent his fight is some guy who was fighting with the UFC. I doesn't know that. I doesn't see him, but whole card is great. You got like a Matu Juracek, what is my sparring partner? You got like Lahore, you got other kids, and it's gonna be great because all Octagon is always great. When you see the promotions, when you see the everything, and you're gonna see the fireworks from every fight. You're gonna see fireworks.
100%. Well, that is everything from myself. I appreciate your time. If you just want to take a chance to shout any sponsors, anything like that, obviously just feel free to go ahead.
Thank you. I hope I'm happy for that because nobody ever asked me for that. But my sponsors are gonna watch it. But I'm still gonna be thankful for all my sponsors, all my fans. If somebody new want to sponsor me, you're welcome. If somebody watching, of course. Okay, I welcome also new fans, and that's it. And thank you for having me. It was great. It was a great time, and Merry Christmas.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to yourself as well, buddy.
Thank you
very much for your time.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.